If an idiot says that dogs are mammals, does that mean that they're not? No. So pointing out that the idiot is in fact an idiot is not a way to address what he says. By talking about your opponent instead of addressing his argument, you're making an argument against the person, an argumentum ad hominem, which is a particularly desperate and unfortunately also common form of red herring. As with any red herring, the purpose of the ad hominem is almost always to distract from the fact that you have no case to present. If you verbally wreck your opponent or convince the audience that he's stupid or untrustworthy, the audience, if it consists of logically illiterate morons, might think you won even though you didn't even participate. Let's address the elephant in the room right away. No, it's not a fallacy to call someone an idiot. Talking about your opponent is not a fallacy in and of itself. The ad hominem fallacy is when an irrelevant statement is made about the opponent instead of actually addressing his argument. A special case of ad hominem is known as poisoning the well. This is when the ad hominem is preemptive. Unfavorable information, true or false, is presented about the opponent before he gets a chance to speak, in an attempt to make the audience reject whatever he's about to say. Before we look at some examples, there's one more thing I'd like to add. If the argument is about the person presenting it, a response, which is also about the person, is not necessarily fallacious. For example, if the opponent argues for why he should be trusted, or why he should be considered an expert, then pointing out his dishonesty or lack of credentials would not be a fallacy. If I were to say that I'm an authority on the subject of logical fallacies just because I'm making a YouTube series about that subject, pointing out that my academic background in philosophy is quite limited and that therefore I should not be considered an authority would be perfectly sound. This is because while the response is about me rather than the argument I presented, it is relevant to the argument. Now let's have a look at some authentic examples, starting with one from the motherlode of fallacies, the work of Winston Wu. Quote, "For those of you who have followed the work of James Randi, Michael Shermer, or CSI Cop, ask yourself this. Have you ever seen them criticize anything of the establishment, including crimes, murders, lies, conspiracies, evil plots, etc.?" Unquote. Here we have a perfect example of an ad hominem. Wu clearly means to discredit the work of critics of his views regarding the paranormal by attacking their character. The implication is that when these people debunk claims about the paranormal, you shouldn't listen to them because they, supposedly, condone the evil actions of the big evil government or whatever. Of course, this is completely irrelevant as to whether they're right or wrong when they refute paranormal claims. Creationists use several ad hominem arguments as well. Evolution must be false because evolutionists are atheists, liberals, homosexuals, communists, feminists, and everything else creationists tend to hate. Of course, true or false, none of these things have anything to do with what evidence supports the theory of evolution or an old universe. A favorite of many science deniers is thinking that calling science proponents shills will refute their arguments. I get this one quite a lot. Even if I were getting paid by them, that doesn't refute anything I said. Another one I get plenty of is from the spirit science crowd. Apparently the things I say are wrong because my chakras are out of alignment and my pineal gland is calcified. Oh, and my favorite, I'm ignorant. Oddly, this is never followed up with an attempt to enlighten me, even when I ask for it. "You're ignorant," usually misspelled, is the entire argument. If I'm so obviously wrong that you're justified in calling me ignorant, then how hard can it be to explain what it is I don't know, and back it up with the evidence or reasoning that convinced you so that I can analyze it for myself and perhaps stop being ignorant? Leaving that bit out isn't just horribly annoying. Talking about me and my ignorance in no way refutes anything I said. It doesn't even address it. If I'm ignorant but still right, I'm right. If I'm ignorant and wrong, I'm wrong. This means it doesn't matter how ignorant I am. Address what I said and learn the difference between your and your, or kindly shut your hole. Unless, of course, you actually want to look dishonest and stupid. Until next time, stay logical.